We're getting closer to another matchup, and so far things seem to be coming together, but there are still some changes that need to be made. Let's talk about the Atlanta Falcons offense. But here's the thing, if there's one area where we could use an upgrade, it's the depth at wide receiver. Now, don't get me wrong, Drake London, Darnell Mooney, and McLeod have been fantastic. But what happens if one of them goes down? Do we really want to count on Kaderil Hodge or rookie Casey Washington to make a playoff push? That's a tough call. That brings us to an interesting potential move. A player in the running to back that up. But before I tell you this and the rest of the news, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to stay in the know. What if the Falcons went after Titans receiver Treylon Burks before the NFL trade deadline? Burks, a former first-round pick, was supposed to be Tennessee's answer to losing A.J. Brown. But things didn't go as planned for him there. The Titans have one of the worst passing attacks in the league, and it's clear they're starting to lose faith in it. Now, you might be asking yourself, why would we want a receiver who hasn't lived up to the hype? Well, here's why. Burks is a player with a lot of raw talent. Maybe he just needs the right system to thrive, and Atlanta's offense could be that place. Zach Robinson's system is explosive, and adding Burks to the mix could give us another dynamic weapon to help stretch the field. Picture this, Drake London, Darnell Mooney, Ray McLeod, and Treylon Burks. That's a scary group of receivers for any defense to deal with. And if we pick him up for a cheap late-round draft pick, it's a low-risk, high-reward move. Even if Burks doesn't become a star, he adds depth, and with the way our GM Terry Fontenot has been getting draft picks right, we could afford to take a chance on someone like Burks. Think about it. The Titans are likely looking to rebuild and are more focused on the 2025 season as we try to prepare for a playoff run this year. Burks has a high ceiling, and the move gives us a chance to add a playmaker for next to nothing. Worst case scenario, it's a late-round pick spent on a guy who didn't pan out. But what if it works? We could end up with a legitimate weapon to push us deeper into the playoffs. And let's not forget, the Falcons' receiving depth could be tested if an injury strikes. You don't want to be stuck with underwhelming options in the middle of a playoff race. Adding Burks gives us a little more insurance. Ultimately, it all comes down to maximizing our chances of making a deep run in the postseason. So what do you think, Falcons fans? Should we take a chance on Treylon Burks and bring him into our already stacked offense? Or do you think we should pass and keep things as they are? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And now let's talk about our pass rush struggles and what our coaches are saying about it. It's week 6 of the NFL season, and one of the biggest talking points for the Falcons defense has been, yep, you guessed it, our pass rush. It's no secret that it's been a sore spot for us. We rank last in the league with just 5 sacks. This is after we made some real progress last year with 42 sacks. What's going on, right? Well, Falcons defensive coordinator Jimmy Lake is optimistic. He spoke to reporters this week and made it clear that he believes our pass rush is close to breaking out. He said, "We're getting close. The process our guys are going through is right. We have to trust that the results will come." That sounds reassuring, but as fans, we're getting a little antsy, aren't we? Now, head coach Raheem Morris has echoed Lake's confidence. He's been adamant that the team is on the right track and that it's only a matter of time before we start seeing more pressure on opposing quarterbacks. But we've heard similar talk before, and let's be honest, after years of watching our defense struggle to close games due to a lack of pass pressure, we're hoping this year will be different. But here's the thing, despite the lack of sacks, the Falcons' defense has been solid. We rank 9th in yards allowed per game and 15th in points allowed. Not bad, right? But imagine how much better we could be if we started getting to the quarterback more consistently. That's the missing piece, and if we can fix that, who knows how far we can go this season. Week 7 against the Seattle Seahawks could be a turning point. The Seahawks have allowed an average of 3.2 sacks per game, ranking 26th in the league. This is a great opportunity for our pass pressure to finally make some noise. If Jimmy Lake and Raheem Morris are right about us being close, this is the game where we should start seeing results. But what do you think, Falcons fans? Do you think we're really that close to turning the corner on the pass pressure front, or is it time to worry? The Falcons' offense has finally hit its stride, and it's safe to say that our investment in quarterback Kirk Cousins is starting to pay off in a big way. After a few weeks of adjustment, we've won 3 straight games, all against division opponents, and the offense is absolutely firing on all cylinders. Over the last 3 games, we've averaged 33.3 points and an impressive 429.3 yards per game. Cousins has been spreading the ball beautifully, and the offense has really opened up thanks to some creative playmaking from offensive coordinator Zach Robinson. But let's talk about one guy who's really been a standout, our own wide receiver Drake London. During this 3-game winning streak, London has been outstanding with 24 receptions for 292 yards and 2 touchdowns. If he keeps this pace up, he's on pace for his first 1,000-yard season, which would be a huge milestone for him. NFL analyst Brian Baldinger has been keeping a close eye on the Falcons' offense, and he's particularly impressed with Drake London. Baldinger shared a film breakdown of how the team left London open against the Panthers in Week 6, and let me tell you, it was a thing of beauty. Baldinger highlighted how London's creativity on his routes, especially given his size, is really making a difference. He broke down a play where London was getting pressured by J.C. Horn in the red zone. What did London do? He used an inside spin move and basically corralled Horn like a low-post basketball player. Baldinger was seriously impressed, saying, "You just don't see that center there very often." Now he's got J.C. Horn on his back like it's low-post basketball. It's those types of moves that are helping London get separation and make big plays for our offense. And it's not just catching passes. Baldinger also praised London's run blocking, which is a key part of our offensive success. Drake London is putting together an incredible season, and with 38 receptions, 428 yards, and 4 touchdowns in 6 games, it's clear that he's become a vital piece of this Falcons offense. Looking ahead, the Falcons will need to keep that offensive momentum going in Week 7 when we take on the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle has its own elite wide receiver in DK Metcalf, and their running game is strong with Kenneth Walker leading the charge. It's going to be a real test for our offense to keep up with their firepower, so we'll need Kirk Cousins, Drake London, and the rest of the team to bring their A-game. Before we wrap up, let's take a quick look at the injury report. Running back Bijan Robinson was limited again in practice on Thursday, but don't worry, it appears to be just rest and nothing to panic about. Safety Justin Simmons returned to practice, which is great news for our defense, and linebacker Nate Landman was a full participant. However, we did have some troubling updates. Troy Anderson missed his 2nd straight practice, and wide receiver Kaderil Hodge was added to the injury report due to a personal issue. Outside linebacker Lorenzo Carter is still recovering from a concussion, but OLB Matthew Judon returned after a day of rest. So, Falcons fans, how are we feeling about this offense? Do you think Kirk Cousins and Drake London can keep this hot streak going against Seattle? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you never miss the latest Falcons news. Let's rise up and beat the Seahawks this Sunday. Go Falcons!